Good afternoon, everyone. I am Tricia Nicole I, Dayrit, and I'm a first-year student here in the University of the Philippines Open University under the course of Bachelor in Education Studies. So for today's video for Creative Chronicles, we are now welcoming a guest who is a 24-year-old freelance writer. And let us welcome Mr. Vincent Imbat.
Good afternoon, Nicole.
Hello, and thank you because you have been a part now of today's video for Creative Chronicles. So may I ask you, how is life doing?
It's doing great. Creatively and professionally. Doing fine.
That's very good to hear of you. And with your almost 3 years of your writing career, we would like to ask you the first question to step up on our story. So the first is, how do you describe what you do?
Yeah, it's a very difficult question for me to answer at first. So after graduation, I didn't really know what to do with my life. So actually, initially I thought about teaching in the academy, but I wanted more freedom and flexibility. So I looked into my core strength and I found out that writing seemed to be something that I don't only enjoy doing, but I actually do quite well. So I started writing for different people, and I didn't know freelancing that time yet, but I just got writing jobs, and eventually I learned that's called freelancing. So I call myself a freelance writer, but I would like to use the broader term writer, because I don't just write for money, but I also write for art.
Yes. And I think what's really interesting in freelance writing is that how you choose your own pace and how you choose your own topics for your audience compared to other kinds of writing wherein it is like a form of obligation or just a responsibility. So thank you for your answer. So the second question is, how did you really start on this writing career of yours?
Yeah, well, writing is a creative art, so I would like to start my answer with tracing my creative roots. Writing is actually not something that I fell in love with early in life. So when I was young, I remember myself drawing a lot. So I thought first that would be my craft or art. But eventually I fell in love reading. So I read a lot of books. I was an avid reader, especially fiction. And so that, I think, that encouraged me to write my own fiction. So by grade 5, I think, or grade 6, I started writing.
Okay, so you just mentioned that you started your writing career, for example, in your 5th grade. So I would really like to ask you, what are those pieces that you started to write on your 5th grade?
Yeah, that's really a fun memory to look back. I started writing, as I said, fiction. But these are graphic novels. So as I said a while ago, I'm drawing a lot. So I drew comics and then I made stories out of them. And eventually I thought about writing my own novels. But it's quite a difficult task to do, so I never really wrote a novel at that age. But I just enjoyed, creating stories and writing them, trying to write them.
That's very nice because you really tried to combine drawing and writing at an early age. So that's really an interesting point that you mentioned. So for this, how did you actually reach to this point of career where you already reached onto this career of being a freelance writer?
Yeah, to continue from my story a while ago about writing fiction when I was in grade school. When I reached high school, I started writing non-fiction. So I wrote for our college, campus newspaper. And at first I was a feature writer, but eventually I discovered I wrote, well, not really better, but I don't know, maybe I wrote more comfortably and more easily writing opinionated articles.
So probably you are onto like the main issues of today's country, for example. Did you start in your high school days and as well as in college days?
Yeah, in college it's quite different because you're tasked to write research papers. But research is academic writing. It's not really fiction unless you have a bachelor's degree in, for example, literature. So my bachelor's degree is in social science. So I wrote a lot. I wrote a lot of research.
So that's interesting because you actually focus on the areas of fiction, but in your later years, let's say you have really gone to this non-fiction areas. So in this writing of yours, how can you describe the content that you put into it?
Creatively or
Let's say so that our audience can know for the two areas, for academic and also for creative writing.
yeah. So as you know, I'm a freelance writer. So right now, I write for the content of websites by some solopreneurs and also companies. So actually, my first writing gig was with a non-profit organization. So I wrote a history book for them, and then eventually I wrote.
Just to follow up, is this a Filipino?
Yeah. It's in Baguio. So I wrote their history book. So it's still connected with the academia. My next project was already still in the academia with the University of the Philippines, Philippine. And then when I left there, I started to do content writing for websites and editing papers on the side. But right now, I'm really focused on writing content for websites. So that's my work. But creatively, I have a blog, so I write essays. Mostly these are motivational, inspirational essays, talking about creative living and things like that.
I think that is a very interesting topic that many audience nowadays can relate, right? Okay, so for this creative writing, let's focus on this topic now. How did you actually find this creative zone of yours, or from that creative zone, who or where do you get your inspiration?
With my art, I really want silence, solitude. So I find myself writing really good when I'm in nature or anywhere by myself. And it's difficult to really, get into that zone. But when you get into that zone, you really write honestly, authentically. It doesn't come really well. So I think sticking with a schedule or a writing habit still helps. Although I still prefer a habit that's not really very strict. Just allow the words to come out. That's how I approach my art.
So in this creative zone, you have mentioned nature. So does this require you to go on some trips or just a little walk on nature, and then this can actually inspire you?
Yeah, actually, traveling is one of my my passions. It actually fuels my creativity. So when I'm in a trip, I try to write there. But of course, you can't travel every day. So I take regular bike rides, and in there I find my creative zone. I have my cell phone, and the creative muse is there, and words just come out. You just have to catch when they come.
Wow, that's beautiful. Because actually, this is a very good point that you have mentioned about creative zone. Because many people may describe this as something mysterious or ambiguous, but we have seen here that creative zone can be seen with the surrounding sounds. Thank you for that. And for the message before we close this video, what is your advice or message for someone who is starting out on their writing career?
My advice is to keep a journal. So just write. You can't really be good with writing without writing. So just write, and don't really constrain yourselves with what your teachers or what conventional writing would is telling you. Just let the words out and try to find your voice.
Thank you very much for this wonderful topic and wonderful conversation that we've had with you here in Creative Chronicles. So we would also like to know where we can find your work.
Yeah, you can find me at Vincent Imbat.
Okay, so the link of his website will be linked down below the video. So thank you very much. And this is a very inspiring topic and very eye-opening topic for all freelance writers out there. Thank you very much.